Ah, sehr gut. Hopefully y'all can hear me now. Okay, cool. I can at least see that I'm producing some audio. So let's make sure we actually have the music coming through. Yeah. Hoover Dam. Not so much. Alright. Think what I need to do. Let's go here. System setting. Yes. Oh, no, that's my input device. Wow, I'm an idiot. We'll set it to none for now. I don't really need an input device for this. It's not actually relevant. Multi-output device, yeah. There we go. Try that. Hey, we have audio. Alright, let's turn this down a little.
Can't always follow your eyes or leave your intuition by the wayside. Can you please be a friend? A friend would like to have.
Loud, loud, loud.
You and I, till it's closing time.
Yeah, bring it on down there. Take off about 20 dB. Alright. Okay, volume check is complete. Alright. So we're just gonna throw this on, promote this in a couple of places while we're waiting on folks to join up. Before we get started here. Make sure I got my stream link correct. There we go. Excellente. All right. Good start so far. Three minutes. Just doing all my cross promotion here while I have an opportunity. Alright. 60 seconds. Winding on down. Boy howdy. Excusez-moi. I'm almost there. Just a couple more seconds. Almost there. I swear. I'm so close. I can smell it. Okay. I know that was a very eventful intro. I apologize. Just getting on a little bit early there, so we had a little time to waste. So, let's review the progress. What have we done since last time? Well, we got through pretty much all of the effects, all of the drums, everything. So if I can solo the drums here, I did actually have in here there was like a kit within the kit. So I had like a drum, I don't know if I actually have it on a bus or like an aux track. It's just the group of the drums, and then I have a separate bus for them where I did some stuff, which we can see in the mixer somewhere. Should be like drum bus in all caps. There it is. All the way at the bottom, right there. Drum bus. We have the, the EQ moves. Couple boosts here and there. A little more life up around the 6K range, trying to make it sound a little less shrill, taking out some of the 8 to 10K. Slight boost to the low end. Very little, like not even a full dB there. There, now it's a full dB, if I can actually get it. There we go. And then a little cut here right around 200, because it was just getting a little too muddy for me. And then, of course, our, high-pass filter. Just standard. Yeah, so that's what we got going on there with the whole of the drums. Nothing too wild, but just some nice subtle enhancements, and that's a big part of mixing is these subtle enhancements. You can see going through here like all of the different EQ moves that I made for the most part, and then you get the little icon. Obviously, we don't go all the way down, so you can see the name of it, but like the symbols here, I've got that kind of stuff there. Slight boost here with the symbol, just kind of, we definitely wanted a lot of that a lot of that sizzle without going too overboard with the sizzle. Because it's very easy to go too overboard with the sizzle and then have it just be like the entire track. Yeah, I mean, like, I can solo the drums here. I can let that speak for itself. So this is a combination of a couple of sounds. Yeah, you can just barely hear it. It's like just that slight extra little bit of sizzle. Like I said, there's really not much up there. Not sure why the brush snare is, like, silent. I don't know why that was silenced. I didn't ever actually take that out. Not sure I understand here. Oh, I guess it doesn't count as one of the drums? That's so weird. Why not? Huh. That's bizarre. Alright, so we'll do that. There we go. Now you can hear the brush snare. Just a cute little thing in there. I didn't even do anything to it. Like, it literally has no effects. It's just an extra little tempo piece in there. Got a couple different claps. I literally just low cut those single EQ. I literally just cut the lows out. Got that little reverse clap. Didn't do anything to that. Didn't do anything to the reverse snare. I think this one's alright. I could sit there and...
Got no reason.
It's not loud. There's also two other snares in there that it matches up with. I mean, really, it's just sneaking in those reverses in there. I'm not super worried about that one. I remember when I was actually going through that. We have a couple different kicks, like I was explaining the last time. So you see, I actually threw quite a few different plugins on these. The kick and the snare being the most important element of almost all drum sets, especially, you know, with all this craziness here. Let's see. So the kick, you know, we got the EQ here, which just kind of shaves off some problem spots, and just a little bit of life in the higher register there. Multipressor, which is like a compressor that controls the volume, but it specifically targets. Looks like I have the like the low mids kind of. Just everything above 100. And then a little bit of an impact down here on the lows, but not really much. Then we did a single EQ here. I just had basically like a bass boost at 40. And then this is our main compressor. Went with the FET on this one. I like the sound of that one. Want that needle shooting up there and doing what it do. Don't really think I need the limiter on. There's nothing we really need to worry about limiting with that one. And then a couple new plugins I got for Brainworks. They're having some great holiday sales. Not, you know, making a big ad for Plugin Alliance here, but they did have some really nice stuff on sale that I got for a very good price. So here I did not do the second compression. Yeah, I didn't actually wind up needing that one. But we did do... So this one here is the sub filter. It's basically a sort of a bass booster. It's not exactly a bass booster. I was reading up on it. So it targets a very, very tight spot. In this case, 35 hertz. Which is way the heck down here. So 35 hertz, and then it basically just comes in and goes, pew, you know, just punch right at 35. And then everything else around it kind of pulls down. So you really get the emphasis of that specific punch. And then you can do, you know, gain in or gain out just in general. And then your low end boost in general. And then here with the resonance, it's pretty much like this is how much you're impacting that specific place where it's punching. The low, high, or the extreme if you really want to just push it over the edge. So I just had that one on high.
You're on your own, struggling profoundly. Can't always follow your eyes or leave your intuition.
It doesn't add a ton. It doesn't add a ton, but it adds just enough.
You and I, till it's closing time.
And the vocals right now are a little loud. Yeah, I cranked them so I could actually hear them over the other stuff. That won't be the case with the song, so I'm not going to tinker with the volume or anything there. Snare did some cool stuff. Added a little bit of reverb, a little bit of bit crusher on this one. Again, it just adds the slightest bit of punch. I'm not working with, you know, very heavy, ham-fisted sorts of effects here. It's a lot of, like, just going from da to da, you know, like a slight bit more energy here and there. And then you pile it all together. I mean, we've got 51 tracks. Like, it adds up, right? So we did a lot of focus on the drums there. I took care of that. The basses, I did a lot of bass boosting with the basses. So taking them from just kind of like low mellow to these big boys, big boy bass. Neat thing I did with the bass pad specifically. So this was like my main bass throughout the entire song. Yeah. What I did was I cloned it. So we popped it down here. This one has the channel EQ where I did some boosts here. And then I shaved off the highs. This one just needed a little more life. It was not really... It was a little lackluster. So I didn't really find anything specifically, you know, because it is a pad. I was listening in. I really didn't find anything that was like a real problem spot. Like, man, I really need to cut this. So it just kind of, you know, is there in its element kind of thing. We threw a little overdrive on there, a lot of overdrive on there, and then just cut the output. Again, you know, just trying to really juice it a little bit. And then tube EQ, which this is not something you see too much people using on Logic, but when you are trying to go for, in this case, silky, the type of sound of this one with the drive and, you know, a little bit of extra boost as well. This is actually a really, really good one. I'm very much a fan of this EQ, and it's just those subtle colors. I mean, each of the specific EQs adds a little bit of a different element than the others, and it is super, super subtle. And like, it takes me a lot of times, like listening through to like, okay, yeah, I hear it now, kind of thing, you know. And there's a lot of that. So what I did with that one was that, okay. But instead of overdrive on the second one that I cloned, we get the auto filter. So what does that do? Again, this one's a lot quieter. Maybe nudge that one up a little bit, but... Now, if you're listening with headphones, you'll pick this up. If you're listening in mono, you might not even be hearing much of anything at all right now. This is one thing that I noticed, and this is why this one's so quiet and this one was so loud. The mono mix. This was really, really screwing my mono mix. So that's... Generally, you want to have it, you know, when you're mixing, you want it to play well on, like, all sorts of things. You know, it's got to play well on a phone. It's got to play well on a computer. It's got to play well on, like, the full stereo system. So here, with these two basses, you're getting a lot of... Like me on the headphones, this nice surround. You know, it feels like the bass is kind of like slowly spinning around me like we're in outer space kind of deal. And we're in outer space, but we can hear things. And then with that, though, like you've got this one that's kind of, it's moving. It's, you know, ping-ponging back and forth with the auto filter there. And then we just have the regular bass pad. But this one was quieter because of the fact that when I had it in the mono mix, I think I have, let's see. Oops. Yeah, right here, if we turn on the gain, so even if you are listening with headphones, I have a gain setting here that just switches it over to mono no matter what you're doing. So, hear that? Nice sort of surroundy bass. Still probably up the volume a little bit for the end mix, but again, our vocals are super loud. But and this is definitely treble yet. So I'm gonna be trying to work on that and make sure that, you know, it doesn't have to sound like, obviously you are losing a fair bit when you drop to mono, but like at the same time, we want it to sound good in mono, right? Like you can't just have like no bass. That don't work either. So yeah, long story short, this was all the stuff that we were doing. And then since, you know, I was just playing there, did a little sidechain compression here to kind of give the chorus lead a little bit of space when we hit the chorus, which is... So these are just the accents. Synth, couple pads. Within the boundaries. And then once you take them away for a second, it's like, oh, now you can hear them. We have my arpeggiator, which I just basically pressed so we can have, you know, I was just able to get all the stuff off of this one. Get a little reverb. So threw a longer tail verb on there and then a little gate. Then just, you know, a couple of the extra effects. Nothing crazy. And then now what we are on to is the vocals. So I did the lead vocals already. And just finished up, you'll see there's a lot of choppy chops. We're chopping. Honestly, it's, as far as chops go, like this isn't terrible. It's, you know, we got like sections here that I felt lined up honestly pretty well. So we've got, you know, that kind of stuff in there where we're chopping it up. Why do you chop it up? Well, you want the syllables to line up with the lead vocal. The lead vocal is the lead vocal, and we want everything to kind of fall in line under the lead vocal. So that's an important thing. We do have a really slow pitch correction on the lead vocal. Most tracks like this, pop, they do use some corrective pitching. You know, I sang my lines pretty good, I'll have you know, pretty well, but there's still times where, you know, you do have to flex pitch because we're human, and that's, you know, the kind of sound that you get out of these. It's just how it is. No one can sing like perfect, like an oscillator, like just the same note all the way through, unless you're me and you're trying to imitate an oscillator, I guess. All right, so the main EQ here. So we EQ'd it a couple times. Again, very normal. You see me EQ twice typically. Usually you have the cutting EQ, which removes some of the stuff, some of the mud, some of the garbage, and then you have the boosting EQ. So with the cutting EQ, consistently between like 2 and not even 200 and 300, like 2 and 250. I just have this. Hear that? It's a super annoying noise. That one, I think, just a little bit down, but yeah. So we're cutting that out. Really loud background vocals. Big cut here, right around 700. It was a little bit lower. Again, just really nasty noises. 2 to 3K was a little bit extra harsh there. I wanted to get rid of that. And then, of course, our high pass around 80. De-esser, compression, pretty hard. We went with the Platinum Digital for the first one.
Can you please be a friend that a friend would like to have? You and I, till it's closing time.
Then we have buses for the reverb and the delay. Might still adjust that yet. Then another one of those great plugins that I got. Another Brainworks one from Plugin Alliance. This one is the NSIC 2. And what I'm doing with it is basically it's a EQ that has like the JFET, which is like your solid state kind of EQ, as well as a vacuum tube EQ. So you can do one or the other pretty much. It's two things in one. You can't really have them both on at the same time, at least as far as I'm aware. But I don't think that was supposed to be on.
And it ain't got no rhyme. All I need someone to be kind. It's cold.
Yeah, and I think they're linked, so I don't really... I didn't hear much of a difference there, but, like, what I think you could do is, like, if you have this with mid-side, like, one becomes the mid, and then this one becomes the side, and you can EQ them differently. And that can create a nice, interesting sound, too, but just wasn't what I was looking for here. So we went with the tube, and I think it adds, you know...
Even when you stay within the boundaries.
Very subtle. I'll leave the MS on because that's how I had it. It's still, it's not something you hear tremendously, you know. But it's a little bit more energy in there, a little brighter. A little more for the exciter to take hold of with the harmonics. And then finally, we compress it one more time out. I went with the vintage VCA on this one. All in all, we're looking to get roughly like 10 dB of compression in there. Honestly, for me, it's more like 12 to 14, and then kind of balancing it between the two compressors. You don't want to push the one typically beyond 10 with any of these stock ones. Most compressors, it gets ugly. We don't like that. So instead of having that over compressed whole thing sound, we have this, which is a lot more gooder. Anyway, so let's turn the secondary and tertiary, is your new word for the day. Tertiary vocal. Something weird is going on with this track, and it's like it's just not responding to clicks. It just doesn't do what it's supposed to do. Yeah, secondary and tertiary vocals down to normal levels. So what I had going here was this is Leadvox 2 is just a double of basically the entire song. There is no first verse. Okay, so the first verse is done. Just solo because it's less production elements, fewer production elements, excuse me. But here in the second verse, we're already starting to pick up a little bit, and I kind of wanted the double there. May keep it, may not. Not really sure. The chorus is huge. We have a lot of layers for the chorus. What the fuck? Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't have the choir on the first chorus. So this is background choir. That one I'm probably just going to EQ as a group, you know, compress as a group. I don't really need to sit there and pick it apart. Atmospheric Vox is just this little thing I have with a pedal board and some crazy effects. And then there was just another FX sample that I had worked in there to create a neat little bridge section that you hear in there. So really, we're mainly looking at like the lead vocals and then 2 and 3, since the main one's already done, as far as I can tell. I did have this pan just a little bit left, and then this one just a little bit right to add a little more depth when we hit the chorus. And they are going to sound a little bit weirder because they are, since they are background vocals, they're sitting a little bit behind the main one. The tuning, I am going to be just a little bit more aggressive so you don't hear that stuff like weird sticking out. Like, there's times where, you know, I have like an A sharp, which really is a B flat in the context of the song because we're in the key of F, but MIDI. Everything is sharp. So you have that kind of like sticking out with like one that's like a B that's almost an A sharp, and it's just like they're close but not quite there. So there's been a few moments where I've had to just adjust those as well. The line, as far as like the vocal too, so it's my own vocal, where you have you and I till it's closing time. All I need. There's a lot of like chill, like kind of slidey motions. There are moments where it's like all I need, you know, and that I could hold as a pitch, but like the in between, like all I need, da, 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 it's very slippery. Really hard to get all of the pitches to be the exact same, and then you know sing it. Really, when you're doing these, you're recording like again and again and again and again. Oh, missed that one line. Oh, messed up that one word. And then you have to do the whole thing over again and again and again and again and again and again and again, to the point where like you're trying to keep one that sounds really good pitch-wise, but also sounds really good diction-wise, and you know lines up with the initial lead vocal.
You and I.
So you and I, you know it. Like if I were to go you and I versus like you and, there's times where like if I have like a little bit of a vocal scoop where I didn't quite hit the note and I scooped up to it, thing we talk about in choirs that I used to be in, like one of those. It's like that's no good. Got to toss that one out, And there's all these things. So it's never gonna be perfect, and like that's, again, long story short, that's the whole thing with the tuning. Now that I have wasted 24 minutes explaining the whole background on everything that happened before, let's get back to this here. Yeah, so since we are going to be focusing in the chorus, I'm just going to go through the other cute little parts that we have here. So we have chorus metallic. This was one that I just threw some interesting effects on. Overdrive, and then the actual chorus on there. It's an effect, if you didn't know. Compression. De-esser. Yeah, that's fine. Does this even do anything? Yep. So that was intentional to get it to sound a little more just interesting. Do you have anything on this EQ? Yep. So this one, both of them actually, were focused on mids, because that's what we're really going for here is mids. And again, these, being secondary things, we really want to make sure that they're pretty reasonably tight. So that's why you see the pitch correction. Yeah, 40 milliseconds, really kind of cracking down on it. Should be low, because my voice is low. So it's going to make them sound a little bit more robotic, but that's part of the vibe I was going for with this particular thing. It's just the layers that are in there that sound pretty neat, so. So when you put it in context, have to listen really close, right? Like you can't even hear immediately that it's there. And it's primarily adding, an additional texture layer that's there that you don't get initially when you just hear it. So it's, I wonder if it does anything whack in mono. I'm curious. So so far as I can tell, that should be all right. I had most of these settings all dialed in already. Yeah, like mad drive. No real reduction on the output, but it is, you know, really up in the higher tones there. We had it pretty well compressed. Yeah, just trying to take out some of that harshness. I don't think we have too much else going on. I think that was like that. Yeah. Okay. Then here we have the chorus high ad-libs. Usually I'm a fan of the EQ first, when I don't have other weird effects. But then again, I do have the pedal board for this one. I don't think I was actually using that. Let's see.
You and I, till it's closing time. Need someone to be kind.
Yeah, so that's just another layer. And then here, 8VB is just traditional music discipline short for an octave down. Yeah, right. Pitch correction. What am I doing? Yeah. So that goes... Let's put it after the wacky effects there, just so we don't get, like, overdriven pitch correction. That would be a little weird sounding. I mean, we are getting overdriven pitch correction, but I don't want it to, like, do the tune thing and then go into the drive. That just sounds absolutely whack. So here, you know, again, these we wanted pretty tight. So I got the response pretty quick. These a little bit slower, just so they sound a little more natural. I think we'll do 102 on both of them. That's a little better. Heard that little skip there. So that's something that I need to edit. I didn't quite get to finalize the edits on these. You see now I already chopped them up quite a bit, but yeah. So we're focusing on the main leads here. When I get down to those, we'll deal with the edits then. I'm not too worried about that. And then the choir's the choir. And the atmospheric is... It's pretty neat, huh? Just me doing this, and then I slap some effects on it. Don't think I need a second compressor on there. And we're still in mono, so it sounds... I'm like, why does it sound weird? Oh, that's right. Yeah. So, okay, cool. Lead vocals are done. So we are moving on to number 2.
Can't always follow your eyes or lead your intuition by the wayside. Can you please be a friend that a friend would like to have? You and
Montero subtle doubler. Yeah, I was actually playing with the... There's a demo mix that you can actually get on Logic as of the newer versions, where you can literally see the full mix of Montero, and I saw they had an interesting doubler in there, so I just created one that was very similar to that. Yeah, that just kind of like adds like an extra voice to it. Or a semblance, you know, a fast delay like that.
die till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need someone to be kind. It's cold, whoa, 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 and cruel. Even when you stay within the boundaries.
There's a lot of kind of weird chops in here because it is supposed to be underneath the main vocal. I'm not going to double that, actually. I know what I was thinking initially, but it just... That's not something I really want to mess around with there. Here, let's drop that EQ down here. I don't think I need to do anything too wild. We can just work with this here. All right, so I don't really need to raise the fundamentals at all. Let's push that up to 80. Really, no, these aren't like background vocals. It's really just supporting the main. So I think maybe what I do here is we actually just go in and clone that EQ. So that takes out the same trouble spots that we had. All right.
Closing time. All I need someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need someone to be kind.
See why I took that out? Ugh. Ugly, ugly, ugly. Okay. Yeah, I honestly think that'll probably be pretty solid right there. See, now I think I took out all the dang pops with all the fades that I was supposed to use, but there's still some weird ones in here that just like sneak through, or I don't know what quite is going on with them, but
even when you stay within the boundaries, stay within the boundaries. Walk down a different road and try to make any of your own rules. Before long, you're on your own, struggling profound.
That one really ought to, whoopsie daisy. Don't want to fix all of them.
Struggling.
I see why I took that out.
Run your own, struggling profoundly. Can't always follow your prize or...
Yeah, that's a good one.
Profoundly. Can't always follow your eyes or leave your intuition by the way only. Can't always follow your eyes or leave your intuition by the wayside. Please be a friend that a friend would like to have. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need is someone to be kind.
It's got those lush layers. It's the main reason I added that metallic voice in there. Just that one like background saturation vocal really adds a lot to it in my personal opinion. Let's turn this one up while we're working on it.
That a friend would like to have. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need is someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't.
It's interesting. It's taken off some of the, I think some of the clippies too, which shouldn't be there because of the fades, but. That's wild. That's getting some mad sibilances in there. Let me try and take this down a little bit, because that's just yikes, man.
You and I, till it's
You just, so the whole thing that I'm doing here is listening and watching the meter. Really, you're trying to catch, so it's a de-esser, right? You're trying to catch the S's, the ts and the ts. Not so much the t, which is what it also seems to be catching, which is, I think it might be a little bit high. I might want to try and like knock it down closer to 6. Just because, yeah. Let's have a listen again and see. Right there. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it's just, you just want it to shave off just the top of the really aggressives. Right there, okay. Yeah. Interesting if... Didn't record it that hot either. Like, I was wondering if, like, maybe my levels were a little too high when I was actually recording. But, I mean, I have the waves expanded here, so... It doesn't seem like that was the case. Oops. You can just leave that on. Could you imagine? So the compressor will help tremendously. That is going really, really hard. Let's just scale it back to 4 is usually like the regular for vocals that I hear most people do. I also tend to lean the same way. Usually in my craziest I'll go up to 8, but like that's if I need something really, really hard. The lower the number, the more aggressive it sounds. So definitely think we want to back this one off, because this is not the lead vocal, it's the secondary vocal. We want it to be a little chiller. Weird little bit of distortion in there. Okay. I'm kind of liking where that's sitting. Can't always follow your eyes or lead your intuition by the wayside. Can you please be a friend that a friend would like to have? You and I, till it's closing time. All I need is someone to be kind. It's gonna make it a little too wet. My inclination is to go for the reverb and the delay on the main vocal, and then have the other vocals that are secondary, especially in this particular instance, not do that. because when you have reverb on like all, well, first of all, it's triple the reverb, which is, ugh. But then like, you know, there's a lot of just hello. Why is my sound off? Please don't turn off my sound.
It's cold and
Weird. There's a lot of other things where you start making stuff too echoey and it just gets to be kind of a muddy mess.
Living got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need someone to be kind. It's cold and cruel, even when you stay within the boundaries. Walk down a different road and try to make any of your own rules. Before long, you're on your own, struggling profoundly.
It's got like all these pre-set up reverbs for the drums that I put in here before.
You and I, till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind.
I think I'm leaving it there. Just sounds a little tighter. It's also kind of annoying having this like all right up the middle, but
all I need someone to be kind. Nothing got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need someone to be kind. Laughing got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need someone to be kind. All I need someone to be kind. Laughing got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need someone to be kind.
okay. Sounds pretty alright.
All I need someone to be kind.
Yeah, think I'm also gonna do a high pass filter, or the low pass rather. Low pass, high cut. Inclination is to go like 12,000. Just to catch some of those weird noises that we're getting in between the cuts. Make it sound a little more natural. Right there. Like that's just a nasty cut. That ain't gonna make it go away. I'm not that stupid. I may look that stupid, but I'm not that stupid. Am I just like missing? Yeah, that's... Let's remove that crossfade. And then we'll just get a regular fade in here. And then this one, move fade in, move fade out. We can just cross that. Still doesn't sound... Yeah, that's passable. Okay. There were a couple of times where I did like crossfades and then like had to cut a little bit more than I anticipated. So then it like crossfades, but then it cuts out, and then it crossfades on the other side, and it just sounds very wonky. Here we have crossfades on everything. Which just sounds bizarre. Yeah, you can hear that's just... Let's take these out. we just get it to go all the way here? Sure can. Yeah, so just some fades that I was throwing in really quick. There was a lot of editing here, so it didn't sound the best. I think I just got a lot of vibrato on my voice there. Lee. There's another one of those weird crossfades.
Intuition by the wayside. Can you please be a friend? That a friend would like by the wayside. Your intuition by the wayside.
Sounds totally natural to me. Just gets kind of yucky when you've got a bunch of these like really tight cuts. Because there's a lot of like going in and out here and there. It makes it kind of...
Till it's closing time. Till it's closing time.
There we go. Yeah, editing is quite possibly the hardest and most irritating part. You know, I used to edit books and writing for people. I was going to say for a living, but, I mean, I did it for a while, but never actually managed to land a paying job with it. Probably should have. Tried freelancing for it. I mean, people were willing to pay me, but it didn't work out. Well, it was simply. And, you know, editing that was just something I could, like, really, really dive into. Like, just my ADHD brain just latched onto it. Was like, oh my god, all the little things I can fix. And with music, it is nowhere near like that. It is much more like, oh my god, please deliver me from this. Put a bullet in my brain. I can't take this anymore. Now, do I suck it up and do it anyway? Of course I do, because it's absolutely necessary. But it's definitely not one of those things that I'm like, man, I could do this all damn day. With books and writing and stuff, I totally could. That was just like my wheelhouse. I was all good with that. Let me check in here. Oh. Yeah. Okay. So, lead vocal 2. I think it's sitting in a good place.
All I need someone to be kind, letting God know.
I don't like to listen totally in solo, but obviously it's relevant, like, to the corresponding vocal that it's, you know, doubling. So listening to it in solo with the lead vocal, kind of hearing.
It ain't got no rhyme. All I need someone to be kind.
Just a little weird cut there.
Someone to be kind.
And that time, it's just magically gone. Okay. All right, so we're moving on to number 3. And I think we're probably just going to copy over the EQ again. It seemed to be an effective strategy. Alright, so EQ it. Didn't really have any automation spots I wanted to get. That's another thing I probably should be thinking about doing, but there could be like a couple of times where it's like, oh yeah, we can cut to like just mids only. Oh, that's so sexy. Maybe for the bridge here, I might do that. And that's just the main vocal. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. For now, let's have a listen.
All I need someone to be kind. Nothing got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need someone to be kind.
Pump that up some so we can.
You and I till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind.
Again with the pops. Looking like I didn't.
All I need some.
So that one's just in the middle of the.
Need someone to be kind. Laughing got no. Laughing got no reason, it ain't. Reason, it ain't got no.
That's annoying. Alright.
No rhyme. All I need someone to be kind.
You know, and it's kind of like a meme when you do the EQ thing and you're like, oh, turn it up and sweep. And then everything sounds bad when it's up that high. Like, clearly, anytime you're like turning it to a needle and just boosting like one super narrow frequency, it's going to sound terrible. But there are certain ones, like, for me, that 230, 250, somewhere in there, just really, 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 like, knobby sound that just gross. Yeah, this one, I wanted to shave off 12,000 there.
I need someone to be kind. Laughing got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need someone to be kind.
It's not strictly necessary, but I'm doing it because it does sound to me when I listen to it, it is shaving off a little bit of that higher end, which, I mean, once you start getting into like 8K and beyond, it just becomes a faster and more harsh. And yet at the same time, because with the lead vocal, I mean, it wasn't on this one, it was on my additive EQ, the Millennia. We're adding a fair bit of air up there, so the 16,000, that's, you know, there's quite a bit going on with that, and you really don't want it to get too crazy up there, because that's where it's really super fatiguing to listen to, is just hearing that all day. It'll be like the frickin' Reapers from Mass Effect in your brain. Just make it stop. Ah! Alright. De-esser, I think, is next. Let me look at my chain on the other one here. Gonna pass on the second compressor there, because I'm gonna be compressing them all again in the vocal bus as well. So I don't think we need to go that hard for, in this case, what is just a background vocal that's underneath the main vocal. There would be times where sometimes you might split the vocal, you might have a left channel and a right channel, and then I'd want them to, A, not be all chopped up like that secondary vocal is. You want them to sound much more natural than that. And B, like, you want them to have a similar sound, basically. Like, it has to be pretty much like you just copy-pasted yourself, but you didn't copy-pasted yourself. You sung it again, so it sounds different enough that you have, like, you know, your different formants and stuff. All right, this one, we want to compress before we do that. Let's just get this compressor over here. That same setting is fine as well. do anything? Yeah, I did add a little bit of the air there. Yeah, maybe that's part of my problem. Let's take that down. It's like, I seem to remember adding air somewhere there, and that was a little too much.
Closing time. All I need someone to be kind. Loving God, no reason.
Compared to
Ain't got no rhyme. All I need someone to be kind. Go, whoa, 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 whoa. Even when you stay within the boundaries. Walk down a different road and try to make any of your own rules before long. You're on your own, struggling profoundly.
we'll just do a little bit. Because, again, because of this one, the first EQ, it's going to cut off at 12K anyway. That one, I think it'll add at least a little bit more air there. Because listening to it as I was like raising that up, I'm like, okay, yeah, that does sound kind of dark. Dark meaning, for, you know, when you make something darker, usually you're higher in like the bass range, the like 80 to like 200 low mids kind of thing. Versus like when something's brighter, you're hearing a lot of this sizzle in these higher frequencies. So that's when people are talking about the light versus the dark. That's typically what you see. Volume is a little low. Okay. Yeah, sorry. I also have to do everything on one screen here, so I can only check the chat like once in a blue moon. But yeah, I can turn that up. That is no problem. I just didn't want it to get in the way of my speaking audio. Let's test that a little bit.
Wishing by the wayside, can you please be a friend that a friend would like to have?
Yeah, there we go.
You and I,
It's up there.
till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind. Living got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need
Cool.
someone to be kind.
All right, so compressor and de-esser settings, I think we can leave them pretty much same. Don't have to go too hard on anything.
Till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind. Living got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need someone to be kind. It's cold and cruel, even when you stay within the boundaries.
Thought that was on 100%. It is not.
Walk down a different road and try to make any of your own rules. Before long, you're on your own, struggling profoundly down a different road and try to make any of your own rules. Before long.
Yeah, I think we do want the same pitch correction on there as well. Hello, I told you to copy it, buddy. Thank you. It's slow, and it's not going to be attacking it too hard. We're not going to get that T-Pain auto-tune for sure, but just enough to kind of curb the notes so that way when, you know, if I have the long phrases where it starts to tail off, it'll kind of keep it in place.
You and I, till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind. Living got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need someone to be kind. It's cold and cruel, even when you stay within the boundaries.
Yep, okay.
Closing time, back to have
Let's just go to the end here.
you and
A little
I,
something else to listen to.
till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind. Living got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind.
Back off the threshold a
Living
bit
got
here.
no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need someone to be kind.
Don't want to go quite that hard on it, you know. Let's see. So, back to like 26. Around there.
You and I, till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need someone to be kind.
I mean, it sounds pretty alright to me. I don't think there's too much else crazy that we need to do here. Let's see. I think I had started to tinker with this one just a little bit, but I mean, really, just the slightest boost. Just going for that 1,000.
All I need someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need someone to be kind. Closing time. All I need someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need someone.
Once again, we're getting some of those weird clips. I do have the fades in there, but might not be strong enough, and it might have just been cut in weird places. Slow down. Yeah, that's another neat effect you can do. You can turn it into a slowdown. Pretty neat things Logic is capable of. There we go.
Need someone to be kind.
Once again, just a little bit weird with this thing in terms of like how it's sounding. We can make that much more natural with a crossfade here.
Need someone to be kind. Need someone to.
It's a little too much now. It's actually overlapping itself a bit.
Need someone to. Someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got.
This one's just weird. I know that's like my word of the day for sure. Calling everything weird. Hello, come on. Let's zoom in. Yeah, this one's actually just a little bit ahead of the game. Can I move it? Can I move it, please? Thank you.
Life ain't got no.
Life ain't got no. Yeah. Bit bizarre, but just one of those things where, in that particular instance, I don't really have another way around it. It's just gonna have to sound like that.
Got no reason.
Because it needs to line these two syllables up.
Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme.
Alright. Like, I honestly don't think it even needs a boost. We've already done the low cut. What do we do over here? Yeah, that little bit of air in the... Okay. I can do the shoulder, that's fine. Do like 2.5 at 4K-ish.
All I need someone to profoundly. Can't always follow your eyes or leave your intuition by the way.
It's coming, hang on.
You and I, till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme.
That's way too loud.
All I need
Hi, I said you're way too loud. See, I'm literally clicking on it and moving it. It's not even moving. These tracks are doing weird foobar things. Weird foobar things. All right, well, let's check. Do we have automation? Sure don't. It's just not working because it doesn't feel like it. Logic, sometimes you scare me. Probably, you know, too many plugins. The laptop is like, I've had enough. F you, I'm done. No more of this. Yeah, I literally can't move it. I keep clicking on it, it won't change. Now it will. There we go. Great.
You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no.
Yeah, there's more and more instances of me clicking on things and nothing happens. Yeah. Well, I know for a fact the computer's chugging here. Just running this stream is like killing its soul. That much I can tell you. Sorry, just readjusting here. Don't mind me. All right. So then we have the high part.
Got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind. Closing time. All I need.
Should we bring that out a little? I think we should bring that out a little. This one we're going to EQ probably quite a bit differently just to make it stand out. Let's go balls to the wall to start. We'll loop the last chorus.
You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind.
I wonder... Let's get rid of the pedal board here. Do I have anything in my audio units we can use? Not really. I mean, I don't know if we want to use the SSL console on just this one particular track. I mean, we could. But I feel like that's trying to pound in a regular nail. A roofing nail with a sledgehammer. Okay. Let's just worry about the cuts first. We'll start there, and then we'll do the additive. Keep trying to get ahead of myself here.
You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't. No. You and I, till it's closing time. Love ain't got no.
Just a little reduction.
Till it's closing time. Love ain't got no. You and I, till it's closing time. Love ain't got no. You and I, till it's closing time.
hurts to listen to that, yeah.
Love ain't got no.
A little bit there, I think.
You and I, till it's closing time. Love ain't got no. You and I,
Yeah.
till it's closing time. Love ain't got no.
And I think because I am singing higher in this particular part, we're getting a little extra sizzle there. A little on the higher frequencies.
Till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind. Love ain't got no reason, it ain't got no run. All I need someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind.
Yeah, I think we want to take a little bit out of this range here. Dampen this a little bit, just so we don't overkill it when we do go to boost it. Alright. Look at the de-esser. Is it doing anything? Weird stuff going on with the mic there. Okay. Compression, yeah, I don't think we really want to add anything to it. That was just me kind of belting there. Yeah, see here we can do that, and then we can bring the volume back up. We'll double compress this one again. Alright, so second compressor. I think we went with vintage VCA last time. On the other track there. Yeah, I think so. Let's do 4. Let's take some of that knee off. I don't really need it. I don't need it. Well, we'll get a little soft distortion. That's fine. And then for the output, we'll do... yeah, maybe just take a little off. You and I, till it's closing time.
All I need someone to be kind. Loving God, no reason.
Oh, it might help if I turned it on.
All I need someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind. Loving God, no reason. It ain't got no other. All I need someone to be kind.
Yeah, I think right around there is fine.
Till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind. Loving God, no reason. It ain't got no other. All I need someone to be kind. You and I.
Might be cool to throw the exciter on here. A little bit of the reverb.
You and I, till it's closing time. I need someone to be kind. Loving God, no reason. It ain't got no other. All I need someone
Just a little to emphasize it.
you and I, till it's closing time. I need someone to be kind. Loving God, no reason. It ain't got no other. All I need someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. I need someone to be kind. Loving God, no reason. It ain't got no other. All I need someone to be kind. You and I.
There it is.
Till it's closing time. I need someone to be kind.
Right there sounds good.
Loving God, no reason. It ain't got no other. All I need someone to be kind.
I'll be slight with it.
And I, till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind. Loving God, no reason. It ain't got no other. All I need someone to be kind.
Yeah, and then I think just trying to add a little bit of saturation. So I might do like a little bit of like overdrive or just a touch of the bit crusher or something. Yeah, so then this will be our additive one. Let me change up the EQ. I don't think I actually want to use that one here. We could use the Millennia Sec, sure. The NSIC. Alright. So, I do have our presets here. Vocal group widener. Fancy. How about, yeah, how about we go with the male vocals tube? Maybe we don't link. Let's try this.
You and I, till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind. Loving God, no reason. It ain't got no other. All I need someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need
It's a left and a right channel. Yeah, that would make sense, wouldn't it? Left and right. Yeah, left and right. Okay. Yeah, let's link these up. Let's not do anything too wild because this is like a very... Well, I do want to do something a little wild, but not too wild. You know what I mean. You know what I mean. Eh?
you and I, till it's closing time.
All right. So, just to explain like what all these frickin' buttons do. So this one this is an EQ, just like the graphic one that we just looked at. The thing is it has, like if we, get the analyzer here, can turn all these off so we're not doing anything too wacky, just to kind of get a visual on what I'm doing. Maybe better to have this up here, actually. Put this down here. Yeah. Okay. So here, this is a gain range modifier. So when I crank these knobs, normally it goes from -20 to +20. You hit this button, and it goes from -10 to +10. You can be a little bit more precise. 20 is also like absolutely massive, kind of insane. You don't typically see that kind of an EQ boost, as far as I know. You know, I'm sure there's engineers that do it, but like conventionally, you'd probably see this a lot more. Then here we have the ranges that we're modifying. So here, again, you know, we're just boosting. Now because I have it linked, it's moving the same on both sides, instead of being left and right channel. I may even break the link at the end and just do like slight changes to the left versus the right. That could be kind of neat. These literally just turn those specific frequencies on. So this one here, we're hitting 50, literally 50. Now you multiply it times 10, now you're doing the 500 range. Okay, so that's any of these numbers get multiplied times 10. So it's 500 hertz here, as opposed to 50 hertz here. Then here we have a shelf, which is that shoulder thingy. Shoulder shelf. Because it forms a shelf, you see. So that's what this is here. It doesn't actually have, on this EQ, it does not have a filter like the one that just completely closes everything off. So when we do that,
You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Loving God, no reason, God, no
now if I turn this one on, go up here.
You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind.
It sounds like there's no body to it. So here we're pretty much neutral. I really want to be careful with 270. I don't really want to touch 270 because 270 is the big scary. That's where I have the it's right in that range where things start to get really ugly for me. My particular voice on this particular mic, throughout all of the songs I recorded for the CP, they consistently have an issue in that spot. And it is normal to have kind of that mud in that range. So, you know.
You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind.
Let's crank it so I can hear the difference.
Someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time.
And it's very subtle because this is everything below 180. And that's why this one's usually not even on. Typically, like, this is very bassy. I don't know. I don't think we really need that one.
You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Loving God, no God, no other. All I need, someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Loving God, no reason, God, no other. All I need, someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Loving God, no reason, God, no other. All I need, someone to be kind. You and I.
Yeah, so this is the Q knob. That's how wide our wave is. So when I have a very, very, right here, this number down here is the Q. So super, super high Q, 49. Super, super low Q, 0.1. So that's what that does.
You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Loving God, no reason, God, no other. All I need, someone to be kind. till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind.
It still sounds to me like it's just a little too much up high. That could be this too. Like, I think, honestly, I want to bring that down.
You and I, till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind.
Especially with the exciter, we've just got a lot going on up there, you know?
You and I, till it's closing time. All I need
Kind of like that better.
to be kind. Nothing love ain't got no, ain't got no other. All I need someone to be kind.
Notice how much bassier that sounds.
Till it's closing time.
Really bright. Not so bright. And that's the thing. This was lit up. So we were, you know, impacting 13,000, which was way up here. And then we were impacting 16,000 and boosting it way up. So yeah, it was a lot of high end, a lot of air. Too much air, I think.
You and I, till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind. Nothing love ain't got no, ain't got no other. All I need someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind. Nothing love ain't got no, ain't got no other. All I need someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I
Yeah. So let's go 50, 60, 70. This would be about 700 right here. 800.
need you and I,
Yeah.
till it's closing time. All I need
And here, just shave off what we're adding, but we'll add.
you and I, till it's closing time. All I need someone to be
Like right there, honestly feels good.
Nothing love ain't got no, ain't got no other. All I need someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind. Nothing love ain't got no, ain't got no other. All I need someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind. Nothing love ain't got no, ain't got no other. All I need someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind. Nothing love ain't got no, ain't got no other. All I need someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind. Nothing love ain't got no, ain't got no other. All I need someone to be kind.
Was interesting there. I was trying to play with the knobs to find a spot where like it still had body, but also still had a lot of that air up top. It was I think just where we arrived there was about where we wanted to be. Again, we were playing with pretty subtle numbers. I could have just disabled the 10 dB and gone to the 20 dB and just cranked it, but like I said, I don't think we want to go that hard. You can. It's always an option, but like, you know, I'm still, it's far easier to wreck a mix than it is to, you know, subtly enhance. So I'm really trying to opt for the subtle enhancement here.
You and I, till it's closing time.
I think maybe I'll tamp down on the exciter a little bit too.
Someone to be kind. Nothing love ain't got no, ain't got no other. All I need someone to be kind.
Just a little shave off the volume.
All I need someone to be kind. Nothing love ain't got
Yeah, and then I think just a little bit of saturation on this one. Da-da-da-da. Fuzzwa. That's an effect I've used before. Let's not turn on the auto wah. Just give me a little fuzz.
You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Loving God, no, 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 someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing
Woo!
time.
The compressor blasted it. Let's leave it there, and then we'll shave off the 2.6.
You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Loving God, no reason, ain't got no other.
And this one should really be added a little bit higher up. Really should be probably first if we're doing fuzz, but I don't know if we want to double compress that.
You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Loving God, no reason, ain't got no other. All I need, someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Loving God, no reason, ain't got no other. All I need, someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time.
Yeah, that sounds pretty good. I think we're in a good spot with this one.
You and I, till it's closing time.
Yeah, I'll just throw the pitch correction on there just to have it. Gonna slow that response. I'll leave it on normal. And we'll do F major, so that's what we're in.
You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind.
See, when I fluctuate between the F and just go a little bit sharp there, it pulls it back down. You know, nothing dramatic. Like, we're not trying to do nothing nutty here.
You and I, till it's closing time.
That one we definitely want first.
All I need, someone to be kind. Loving God, no reason, ain't got no other. All I need, someone to be kind.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. 836. I should be able to get through pretty much everything except for the background choir, but I mean, like, the background choir is going to take not really that long. So let's get off of this, and then we'll move to the metallic boys. All right, I already had the whole thing all set up for that. Let's push these back a little bit. I don't want them like super auto-tuned. $84 is fine. Get rid of that second pitch correction plugin. Yeah, you notice I have a gain on a lot of these too. It's just randomly, like, as I'm working to crank them up. This is to give them their own space with this EQ. I don't want any of those bright metallic-y tones getting in with the Hi, just grabbing a tissue. Be right back here. Ugh. Yeah, I don't want any of that getting mixed up in there. I really just want it to be strictly limited to that particular portion. Um, don't think we need reverb on there either. Second compressor. Yeah, this one isn't doing much as of now, but... Oh, there we go. Yeah, it is. Let's slow this down.
Closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Living got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind. Closing time.
Yeah.
All I need, someone to be kind. Living got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind. Closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Living got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need.
Those are on point. From what I can hear. Now, if we blend them in, you can barely hear them. Which is kind of the point, you know? Like, they're not supposed to be that loud. And there they are, at the fringes of your hearing. All right, that one we just did. Yeah, so then we just have the octave down ones. Let's crank these so we can hear them. Oh. Boosting around 1K there too. Not sure about that. Just had a fleeting thought while I was looking at that. I'm like, yeah, I wanted to change that. I remember now. So we're adding a little fundamental here. That's kind of what this is. Which is not something you would typically want to do. However, in this particular instance, me singing this an octave down, like the whole point is to be lower. So I'm actually even going to drop this to 60. So do another EQ there where we do that. It was 198, 1. Yeah, okay. That's about right. So this we'll just leave it for the cuts. Let's see.
You and I, till it's closing time.
Yeah, we are getting some of that boxiness here.
All I need, someone to be kind. That ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind.
Yeah. So we'll knock that down a little.
You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need,
for 12 here.
someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to
The usual suspects.
you and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind. You and I.
A little bit of a wider cut up here just to reduce that a bit. Okay. So once again, now that we've got that all adjusted, and we'll go to this one.
Someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no
Sure.
rhyme.
I think I like
All
that.
I need, someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme.
A small little shoulder boost down here.
Someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need.
It's a subtle boost. We don't really need a whole lot.
Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme.
I'm good with that. Alright, so let's move it on over. Move it on over. George Thorogood. Alright. Cool. And then we'll kick in the first compressor on each.
You and I,
It's not really set up. Thought I had it all on the same.
someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't
Got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind. Okay. So, now that that has been thoroughly stuck in all of our heads, think we're good.
you and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme.
You can hear them down there. Let me try actually adding the reverb onto these two.
All I need, someone to be kind. It's cold and cruel.
Basically just taking... The lead vocal has the higher reverb and then the...
You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind.
And that's the exact effect that we're kind of looking for. It is a little bit louder, I think, than even I was looking for there. Just knock it down just a little. But yeah, almost like a sub bass for the vocal.
You and I, till it's closing time.
Maybe
All I need,
a bit too quiet.
someone to be kind. Life ain't got no
Oh, there it is.
reason, it ain't got no
Now that I raised it up a little bit, it's like, oh, there it is. Found it.
need someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind.
Yeah, with all those layers of choir, I do think the bass is actually too quiet now.
Till it's closing time. All I need,
Maybe our metallic-y boys are a little much yet.
life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind. It's cold
What?
and cruel.
Really? Are you kidding me?
Stay with you and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to
Excuse me? What?
be kind.
Since when?
Life ain't got no
Where?
reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind. It's cold and cruel. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind. It's cold and cruel.
It's got to be the overdrive. That's what's killing it. All right, so let's fix the problem at the source. There. Okay, so we're gonna have to duplicate these again. Oh, where are we? Where are we? Metallic. Alright, so let's get the overdrive over here. And then... let's bring them both up.
Even when you stay within the
Let's loop this
boundaries.
chorus instead.
You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Life ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme.
Yeah.
All I need
Yeah. That's better.
someone to be kind. You and I till it's closing time.
Now we're not picking like crazy anymore.
Someone to be kind.
That's still up there, though. That drive is really pushing it. And probably with the chorus, it's a bit much.
Someone to be kind. You and I till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind. Nothing got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need someone to be kind. You and I till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind. Nothing got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need someone to be kind. You and I till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind. Nothing got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need someone to be kind. You and I till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind. You and I till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind. Nothing got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need someone to be kind. You and I till it's closing time. All I need someone to be kind. Nothing got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme.
Sweet. Background choir. This is it. We're pretty much done after this. Unless I want to do like the finishing touches and put like the mids only thing on the lead vox or something with the automation. Nice little couple finishing touches I might do, but the bulk of it is here. There's our background choir that we haven't really been hearing much of. And these guys, we actually want that air, like, this is what this is about. This is like their home. This is what the background vocals are supposed to be doing. You know, like that light airiness. I think we want to keep it. This problem child just doesn't ever seem to go away. And then what we can do is we can actually throw on... Oh, that might be cool too. We could use the Niveau filter. So that one, it's polarized. So you have one dial that can either up the treble and lower the bass, or vice versa. It only works in those opposites. So that's kind of a neat thing. I might, I don't know. We already went pretty far with this one. I feel like, you know, maybe we could just take this off and then use some other stuff. Yeah, so let's layer that in. I think that would be really cool. That's enough. I can even hear that. Like, it's so subtle, but it's there. Around that 6K range. Yeah, let's maybe knock it down to around 5K. Yeah, do the compressor before we boost. It was already mostly dialed in. Yeah, we don't have stuff on the individuals. That's good. Yeah, let's do one more with the... the NSEC one more time. Way too bright. Now let's turn it off solo so we hear it in context. That's most important.
You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. That ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing.
See, hear how they're getting up over top of it now that we're layering all these things in?
You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. That ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need.
Just got to be careful. I don't want too much sparkle because the synth is doing a lot of sparkle, and then we've got the hat's all sparkling, and then there's so much sparkle. Like I said, you know, it comes back to that. It's gonna fatigue the hell out of your ears. Listen to this. If we go too hard.
Till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. That ain't got no reason. reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time.
Play for me the last choruses.
All I need, someone to be kind. Love ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Love ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind.
Honestly, I feel like they could go for a little saturation too. Like a little bit of that fuzz that I had before. That seemed really good. Bass is still quiet to me.
All I need, someone to be kind. Love ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Love ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind. You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Love ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind.
Alright. So, coming back here.
Closing time. All I
Oops, wrong chorus. They're not in that chorus.
you and I, till it's closing.
Obnoxious, isn't it? Darker. Brighter. Darker. And it still has the sonic effect on there when it's yeah, let's do the compressor in too. Very slight. 1.2 to 1. I'm not doing it. I'm actually not doing it because I feel like it's taking too much of that high sizzle out of the vocal. That's what makes it special, damn it. And it is excessive when you listen in solo. It does sound excessive, but when you blend it in, this is what it needs to do. It needs to blend in. We're not listening to just background chorus. go just a little bit more on this thing.
Closing time. All I need someone to be kind. Nothing got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need someone to be kind.
All right. Let's give it one more listen through, and then we'll wrap up the stream here. Thank you guys for being with me through this ordeal that we've had with this video here. I am hoping to get a few more videos, just regular YouTube videos, not going to be live videos. If you are catching this afterwards, cool, thank you. I really appreciate it. Smash that like button and make sure you hit subscribe, all that stuff. Yes, yes, yes. We are going to have more videos. You know, I've just got the live content going as of right now, but we are looking at trying to do at least a few covers, you know, some more content, some behind the scenes stuff, kind of like this, more behind the scenes stuff with my EP. You know, just kind of talking through some of the wackiness of making these songs and like what's kind of come up here and there. So it's a lot of fun, and I do hope that you enjoy this. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and continue to enjoy this EP journey with me. It's very exciting, and I can't wait to share more with you. Let's see where we're at here.
Can't always follow your eyes or leave your intuition by the wayside. Can you please be a friend that a friend would like to have? You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Love ain't got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind. It's cold and cruel, even when you stay within the boundaries. Walk down a different road and try to make any of your own rules. Before long, you're on your own, struggling profoundly. Can't always follow your eyes or leave your intuition by the wayside. Can you please be a friend that a friend would like to have? You and I, till it's closing time. All I need, someone to be kind. Nothing got no reason, it ain't got no rhyme. All I need, someone to be kind.
So something I am noticing with the meter, so that would be the right-hand meter here. Oops. This one. You notice it's going towards the yellow. Really, we want to try and keep it right around 6. Or really, I think 12 would probably be the best bet. And then, you know, then we hit the mastering and we get towards the loudness. But right now it seems like it's just too loud. Like I need to start bringing stuff down more.
You can't always follow your eyes or leave your intuition by the wayside. Can you please be a friend?
And 6, 12, you know, 6 is like the absolute peak meter of, you know, the analog equipment. But yeah, we're going towards 3 here. I think that's too much. I need a little more headroom, so I'll need to kind of knock it down just a little bit for that. But not bad. Not bad at all. Now let's see.
And it brought me to my knees. You can't always follow your eyes or leave your intuition by the wayside. Can you please be a friend that a friend would like to have? You and I, till it's...
And of course, what I can do is, you know, we can go on the mix bus here and I can just finalize with a little more EQ, just to, you know, kind of bring it in, reel it in. See kind of where we're at here.
All I need, someone to
by and large, from like the other samples that I've looked, I'm obviously not going to look at copyrighted tracks here, but I was kind of comparing to them. So far, it looks pretty good. We are a little bit heavy right here, and that's all my voice. That's the honky range, right? Like that's the. Oh, this is more honky up here, but this is the boxy range.
Even when you stay within the boundaries, walk down a different road and try to make any of your own rules. Before long, you're on your own, struggling profoundly. Can't always follow.
It being the whole mix, I don't really want to go too hard with it, but just shave a little bit off, you know. 400 is also an annoying frequency. This is like a sonar blip. Hear it? So this whole range getting a little up there, but I don't know. I don't hear anything immediately that's like, ugh. 600 isn't like super obnoxious, so if it's around there, that's okay. But yeah, so I'll probably do that, and then we can throw the compressor on there too. Just get like a compressor for the whole thing. Just kind of reel it in a little bit more. But yeah, so that will do it for the stream. Thanks for tuning in here, guys. I really appreciate you, and do hope you enjoyed it. We are all set for now, and yeah, I'll see you around the channel. I'll see you around wherever I'm seeing you. Yeah, I'm really bad at saying goodbye. I kind of carry on for like 10